Thanks everybody. My name is Rick Evans from the New South Wales Department of Industry. On behalf of the HunterNet Future Leaders Committee, and in particular the project team consisting of Sabina Anderson from the Newcastle Permanent Building Society and Nick Percy from the Varley Group. Nick, if you put your hand up, thanks. I'm really excited to introduce a cracking project brief for 2016. So to the future leaders in the room, I'm sure since I've spoken with you back in April at the program launch, you've been really enjoying the opportunity to go through the program and build upon your network with your peers and also the speakers that actually come through. You may have also noticed some extra people in the room. I'd like to welcome the judges and mentors for the 2016 program. There's a few available in the room tonight, but I'll go through the full list. So these industry leaders from the Hunter region have generously volunteered their time to be part of the program for this year. So the judges are Gunilla Burrows, who is the chair of 1804, Anna Ziki, who is the Coordinator General for Transport of Newcastle, Henny Deploy, CEO of Port Waratah Coal Services, Jonathan Vandervoort, EGM of the Australian Rail Track Corporation, and Tony Cade, CEO of HunterNet. Also, our mentors include Lindell Fogarty, CEO of Perform HR, Susie Smith, CEO of the ANZ Breast Cancer Trial Group, Paul Hughes, Non-Executive Director and Consultant, Andrew Mears, CEO of Switched In, and Steve Waite, who's the Business Development Manager from the Business Centre in Newcastle. I'd also like to thank Mal, Naomi and Mike from tonight's panel for hanging around for the project launch. So I'd also like to welcome the HunterNet Future Leaders alumni, the participants, the judges and the mentors from the inaugural program in 2015. So it's a great opportunity for you as participants this year to, again, build your network, have a chat with someone who's been through the program last year and potentially get some ideas about how the project phase actually works. So the format for the remainder of the evening will be a context presentation from Nathaniel Bavington, who is the Smart City Coordinator for the Newcastle City Council. Then it's back to me for a briefing on the project overview, the 2016 project challenge, what we're all hanging around for, and some short admin on the submission requirements, what's actually expected of you, and a project timeline for the remainder of the year. So the aim of this session is to launch the project brief and allow you as individuals to have a couple of weeks to formulate some ideas individually before your teams are formed at the next session, which is on the 18th of August. So I'll keep the session fairly brief to allow the networking to begin, everyone to grab a beer, including myself. So without further ado, I'd like to formally introduce Nathaniel Bavington, who has kindly donated his time this evening. Again, Nathaniel is the Smart City Coordinator for Newcastle City Council, where he's leading the Newcastle Smart City Initiative. Dr. Bavington has completed a PhD with the Uni of Newcastle, and his presentation will provide some context for the project, particularly around current smart city initiatives that are currently occurring in Newcastle and the Hunter region on a whole. If you could also think back to early May, I believe it was, when the futurist Gary Ellam's presentation talked about transportation and smart technologies, you're starting to twig on to what the project brief will actually be about. If you can please welcome Nathaniel.
Thanks, Rick. Pleasure to be here. As mentioned, it's my opportunity to just kind of provide a bit of context. My understanding from Rick and Nick and the others I've talked to about the program is that the idea is to pose you a challenge that is as real world as possible. So in that respect, I guess it's useful for you guys to be informed about our planning for the future, things that we know that are underway, and some opportunities that are current or imminent. So as mentioned, I lead the Smart City Initiative. This is pretty new territory for Newcastle City Council. My role's only been in existence for 12 months. However, at the speed that local government normally moves, it's normally a pretty slow-moving iceberg. This has been a lightning-fast adoption of this way of thinking, and it's increasingly become a central part of how we see the future of the city and the region. So it's very exciting. So our vision is to be a smart, livable and sustainable city. This is the tagline of our 2030 strategy, which is like our big strategy that governs most of our activity. It was developed through pretty serious consultation over very many years with the community. So it has 7 core themes: connected city, protected environment, vibrant and activated public spaces, caring and inclusive community, livable and distinctive built environment, that's like land use planning and heritage planning, open and collaborative leadership, and the one I'm interested in, smart and innovative cities. So I deliver against this program. But what is a smart city? Well, there's a lot of different ways to think about it, and we've been building our vision over the last 18 months or so, and this is our ambition: to be Australia's most livable city, within 10 years to establish Newcastle and the Hunter as the premier smart region in Australia, to really add to the diversification of our economy that's already underway, but to give that a real a push and to guide that in certain directions, and to leverage our world-class research and engineering capability and really repurpose it for the industries that are going to be dominant in the 21st century. If you ask 5 people what a smart city is, you'll get 10 different answers. There's no agreed definition. What there is a whole bunch of cities globally that are exploring different toolkits and applying them to their local problems. What that means is that we have to develop our own definition of what smart city is. And as it happens, we're working through that process at the moment. I'm midway through writing our first smart city strategy, and we're out in engagement with stakeholders at the moment about this very question of defining the principles, what it means for us. Having said that, there's a few cities that we're looking at very closely that are what we might call reference cities or touchstone cities. Chicago, USA, Barcelona, Spain, Amsterdam, Netherlands, Waterloo, Canada, and I'd like to add in there Pittsburgh as well. All of these cities have elements that are relevant to what we're trying to do in Newcastle and the Hunter, and we're adopting, plagiarising, stealing all their best ideas because there's no need to reinvent the wheel. We've built relationships with most of these cities. Chicago is known for their open data platform. Barcelona is really acknowledged globally for its Internet of Things platform. Amsterdam has pioneered this concept called the Living Lab. And Waterloo, Canada is really one of the best global examples of an innovation precinct, which is where industry and research and entrepreneurs can all get together. So this is our global learnings about what a smart city should be and some of the best ways to achieve it. Now, having said that, we know from our research that a smart city has 3 things. These are sort of generally agreed upon. It has a focus at people. It's not about an elegant technical solution. It's about having people in the community at the centre. It's about livability and amenity. It's a city with smart infrastructure. That's infrastructure that is about digital connectivity, fibre, Wi-Fi, but it's also about everyday infrastructure that is made smart through the addition of sensor technology. And it's a city that nurtures and supports innovation through an ecosystem, a coordinated ecosystem. Let's go back, actually. What drives a city to take up smart city initiatives? It's locally specific. So in Newcastle and the Hunter, some of the drivers that we're looking at that has sort of encouraged this rapid uptake that I mentioned are the need to diversify our local economy. We've got the big renewal push on in terms of a few big drivers that are changing the city centre, and they are, of course, the integrated transport offering, the investment by the state government, the increase in city living, You've probably seen the news. We've just gone past $2 billion of residential in the city centre, and including Wickham. That's about 3,000 apartments. That's about 4,500 people extra living in the city centre. And the city campus, the university, has got a big push on. You would have seen new space going up. That's only one of several buildings that they've got there. So there are a few big drivers that are reshaping the city and the region. And smart city, you can see it dovetails with all of those things, which is part of the reason that it's been attractive to council. So to be a smart city, we have all the right ingredients. Thriving in education and research sector, absolutely. And that's not just about the university, that's about the CSIRO Energy Flagship, that's about the state knowledge hub for energy and resources out at NEA. That's about HMRI and Hunter New England Health and their health technology push. We've got amazing research bones in this region. A highly skilled and capable workforce, and I would add one that's underutilised at the moment since the mining downturn. I think if we're all honest with ourselves, no one's expecting a big rebound in that. Really, we're in a new ball game where we're getting used to the fact that all that engineering capability has to find a different set of applications. The businesses we're talking to who are doing well are those that have been able to find new markets to use their applications to deliver product into. A diverse industry base and diversifying with significant growth potential, absolutely. An innovation infrastructure for a smart city. The jury's out on that one. Are we there yet? Probably not. So what we need is digital connectivity. We need spaces, that actual environments like co-work spaces through to incubators, accelerators, innovation hubs that will allow people to find each other and share good ideas and develop them and have them commercialised. And all of this is really, the end game is to attract talent, to return talent, which is those people who have come through Newcastle and have left, and we want them to come back, and to keep them here in the first place, to retain talent. So the main body of work to date has been the development of a collaborative funding application to the HIF, which is the Hunter Infrastructure Investment Fund, called the Hunter Innovation Project. These are our core partners, Newcastle University, Newcastle Now representing city centre businesses, Hunter Digit, which is like a digital economy advocacy group, and that's a conduit for community groups to be involved, and the council. And then there's an enormous array of city partners, HunterNet included, who are supporters of the project in various ways, and I think you'll agree that's a pretty powerful bunch of organisations. We're now starting to attract industry partners as well. So we're talking Cisco, IBM. These last three, GoGet, Keolis Downer and NRMA, have come on board very recently in relation to a specific project out of our Living Lab strategy, which I'll get to. So this is sideways, but you'll understand in a minute. So these are the strategic pillars. I'll just read them out. So we've got this infrastructure component. This is underway. I'll unpack that in a second. A regional incubator strategy. A lot of regions are saying, yep, we want an incubator, we're going to build a building and you'll go there. Our strategy is that the entire region is going to be our incubator. We already have an enormous amount of spaces and co-work spaces, and it's all about the curation and stitching them together. The city data platform. If you have a highly instrumented city centre full of sensors gathering information, what do you do with that? Best practice is that you make that data as freely available as possible, so that people who are smarter than I am and that the council is can take that and find new problems to new solutions. And the Living Lab strategy, which is a model of thinking which is about attracting industry to develop prototypes, to testbed new technologies, and that's really about making the city available for industry collaborations to come together and develop new technology and new product. Now, going across those four pillars are vision, leadership and governance, and collaborative strategy. That's the kind of top-down influence. And then the influences coming up from the bottom, the future workforce activities, that's the stuff that RDA Hunter's doing around the ME program, what Rick's doing around the STEM ships, what TAFE and university are doing about introducing entrepreneurship and innovation degrees through their curriculum. And then ecosystem development, which is about nurturing, well, actually at the moment, it's about understanding and mapping the ecosystem, but then it will be about nurturing and helping those businesses to find each other, to improve supply chain, to a lot of the work that HunterNet already does. So obviously you're a big part of that ecosystem development. So what exactly are we talking about? This is the footprint of a city centre Wi-Fi platform that is the connectivity backbone for an Internet of Things platform. Everyone know Internet of Things? Anyone want a quick 1 minute brief on that? We are currently in the 3rd generation of internet. The first one was fixed computing. You go to the desk. There's about 200 million connected devices globally in the year 2000. The 2nd generation is mobile internet. We are all, I would wager, have the internet in our pocket right now. That's 10 billion connected devices in 2010. Internet of Things is the 3rd wave, and we're just sort of at the start of that wave, and that's about everything is connected. Wearables, connected machinery in industry, so industrial IoT, smart homes. When everything is connected, everything is producing data. That gives you an enormous resource for developing insight and understanding your asset life cycle, if it's about a public infrastructure, or understanding how a population interacts in a public domain. All of that information becomes available if you deploy the Internet of Things. This is where we're going to deploy the Internet of Things. The idea is that this area will become the test bed, the place where new technologies are developed. Secondly, a digital precinct. This red area this is obviously the university campus and the admin centre. This is the store building, so the new Wickham interchange. Right through the guts of the city, pushing west where we want the future CBD to be. This will all be connected up by high-speed fibre, probably not NBN, which is more of a consumer retail quality broadband. We're talking about fibre to the premises, gigabit private network, very super fast. And an innovation hub. This will be part of the university campus down here, and this is really the capstone of an innovation network that includes the spaces that are being developed out at TAFE, what's going on with 1804 and the different incubators and the co-work spaces, and it's really a place for researchers and industry to come together to develop and commercialise ideas. So all of that is pretty exciting, and these are the applications that will be hanging off the Internet of Things platform. So citywide Wi-Fi is a given, smart parking management, smart crime prevention. You may not be able to see, but this guy in here is being detected by an analytic running on a camera. The camera has learnt what a normal person who owns one of these cars behaves like, and he's not behaving like that, so it's just kind of picked him out with an algorithm. Doesn't mean it's a crime, it's just data, how you use that data. The police might want to know about that, or security, or whatever. Consumer services, this is business to business and business to consumer. People movement analytics, understanding how people move around the city. That might be interesting if you have if you want to understand what's the impact of a new multi-storey development or a really large event. At the moment, council literally sends people out onto street corners with clipboards and counters to count people. So obviously we can improve on that. Interactive environments, playful environments. These screens will be going out in the next 12 months. So interactive touch screens embedded in the built environment. You'll have real-time information about transport, about what's on in the city, about where am I, how to get to where I want to go. So there's a lot of digital collateral and opportunity there. And smart lighting, which is really about lighting that's responsive to use and to time. So there's enormous cost savings to be made. So for example, if there's a street where over time the analytics learns that no one goes down it between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m, do we really need those street lights to be at full ball? We can probably dim them to 75%. So this is all happening in the next couple of years. Pretty exciting. Now, I may be giving things away here, but anyway, I was told to roll on. The Hunter transport mix. What is interesting about the Hunter and its transport mix is that we have every single mode of transport in the city centre. If you include the airport, that is. It's a little way away. Everything from pedestrian to skateboard to rickshaw to heavy rail to, it's not on here, but you could probably also include cruise ship. So that's a pretty unique situation. I was also asked to just flag a few potential mobility applications to get you thinking about a few things. The smart city lends itself to a walkable city. In very many ways, the smart city is all that is new is what is old. It's a return to solid principles of urban design, human scale, walkability. So that's the first technology. And we know that obesity is an issue, right? So don't forget walking. Electric bike hire network. Smart parking applications, I mentioned that's coming. We're talking about guidance apps that tell you where the available car parks are. Also, eventually we're going to get to the point where you can have pricing by demand. So the cost of the car park changes depending on how congested the city is. Car share, that is like GoGet. Ride share is like a local startup called Lift and Go, which is an app where you can book a ride with someone who, at the moment, it's limited to people who have the same workplace as you, but in theory that's expandable to anyone in the community. Now we get into the big ones. Mobility as a service. This is a big new concept. The nub of the concept is you need to get from A to B and you do not care what the transport mode is. You only care that you are at B in time for your activity at B. Right? So it might be a rickshaw, it might be Uber, it might be a taxi, it might be a little autonomous vehicle. You don't care. All you care about is that you can book it and it's there waiting and you get there. It's mobility as a service. It's not mobility as a function anymore. The last mile solution. If you have a mass transit network, think interstate rail, light rail, there's still a gap between when you get off and where you need to get to. There's an opportunity there for another mode of transport. It might be segways, might be the much maligned, frequently on fire hoverboard. It could be anything. It could be walking, or it could be the bike, or it could be the car share. Autonomous vehicles, obviously this is big in the news. An exciting collaboration has formed around this where the partners on that slideshow I mentioned earlier have put in an EOI to Transport for New South Wales for the Hunter to be identified as one of the places where autonomous vehicles and multimodal mobility as a service is tested in the state. That would do amazing things for the type of industries we can encourage to locate here, and that can be that can thrive, and our own industries that can grow into that space. So most people think about the Tesla type autonomous vehicle. So that's the private vehicle that is made autonomous. The other option is autonomous public networks, like autonomous minibuses. Right? So, and that second one changes models of vehicle ownership, because you don't need to have a private vehicle anymore. You just need to know, a la mobility as a service, that you can get the lift you need to get to where you want to go. And the last one's really big. I know, don't laugh, it's been talked around for a long time, but there's a renewed interest in it, and this is off the back of mainly Asian consortiums who are approaching the federal government with plans, and those plans are mainly linked around transport-oriented development. If you don't know what that is, you'll need to Google it and research it, because that's probably how the rest of this stuff is going to be paid for. So that's just a few thought starters around mobility and how Smart City might deliver mobility into the future. And that's pretty much the end of my presentation, and I'll be around for questions later. Thanks.
Okay, thanks very much, Nathaniel, for the context piece. It's definitely an exciting time, I'm sure you'll agree, to be living and working and shaping the future of Newcastle and the Hunter region. So the project, it's an integral piece of the HunterNet Future Leaders program. It's a unique opportunity for you to apply your fresh thinking, your courage, and your leadership skills that you've developed during the program to a current opportunity facing the Hunter region. Your leadership and teamwork skills will be developed as you work in multidisciplinary teams. So Nick, Sabina and myself have taken the liberty to split the group into 5 teams based on your company, your occupation and your personal attributes. Your teams will be assigned a mentor in a couple of weeks, and who will be an industry leader from the Hunter region who will guide you through the project phase. So these mentors have been briefed to facilitate rather than drive the team's proposal. Guys, this is a team project, so the ideas will actually come from you. So it's not all hard work and it's not all business. As a participant last year, the project phase was a great deal of fun. This year there's a $500 team budget or mentor expense fund allocated to each team. So it's up to you guys how you actually use that. So last year's team spent money on team dinners, coffee meetings, golf days, charity donations, and others, I believe, made a first night $500 investment down at the Honeysuckle Hotel on a team bonding night. So it's up to you. So to the project challenge. In November 2015, as Nathaniel's alluded to, Minister for Transport and Infrastructure Andrew Constance announced the New South Wales Government was calling on the world's best transport operators to implement a world-class transport system for Newcastle, alongside the delivery of the city's new light rail line. With an integrated transport system underway and the introduction of some of the most recent developments that, again, Nathaniel's mentioned in the transportation sector, such as the sharing economy transport provider Uber, there is an opportunity for us to completely rethink the transport network in Newcastle to support jobs and growth. I've heard that slogan somewhere before, and urban renewal in the CBD. Simultaneously, Newcastle is creating a name for itself as the first smart city in Australia, with a growing startup environment supported by local government and a strong research community. In particular, there is a push among these stakeholders to make Newcastle a test bed for innovative transport technologies to attract innovators, investors, and in the process, drive long-term job creation. So the challenge. We invite each team to consider how Newcastle can leverage off the investment in light rail and develop a truly integrated transport system, drawing on smart transport technologies to ensure maximised benefit to the region. So in short, how can the Hunter region get smart about transport? So the terms benefit and smart transport technology can be interpreted broadly by each of the teams. And you as teams are encouraged to think outside the box when researching and scoping your project submissions. So this includes looking inside and outside Newcastle CBD, so it's a Hunter-wide project, current and future transport modes, and current and future technologies. The committee and HunterNet would like to see 5 cracking concepts, solutions, proposals that could be commercialised or utilised by the tenderers in the integrated transport solution for the Hunter region. The challenge has been intentionally left quite high level by Nick, Sabina and myself, which allows you to be creative and have a number of avenues to pursue. So concepts may include a smart integrated transport plan for the Hunter, a smart transportation technology, which may become the new Uber, just remember who put the proposal in front of you in the first place, and a combination of both which will benefit the people of the Hunter region. So teams will do well to, as Nathaniel mentioned, research current initiatives in the Hunter region, in other Australian cities, and other integrated transport solutions and smart city initiatives from cities around the globe. And there's a lot of material out there when you start looking. Onto the administration really quickly. So the submission requirements, you're required to deliver as a team a 20-page written project report. It's aimed at executive management, ultimately the judges of the program. So the 20-page limit we put there to capture and hold the attention of the busy executive. The second part, or the second accessible part, is a 30-minute team project presentation to that panel of judges. Not assessed but integral to the project is a 200-word gala summary and an extended elevator pitch which will be delivered by either the whole team or an individual from your team, it's designed to let the people or the group know that are attending the gala presentation, particularly what your proposal is about. I think last year at the gala dinner we had approximately sort of 150 people from the business community around the Hunter region, so it's a great opportunity for you as a team to get some exposure. Really quickly onto a timeline. So we're obviously at the 4th of August, the project's been launched. The next session, the 18th of August, your teams will be announced and you'll be assigned a mentor. And that'll be a great session. We're looking at holding a trivia night to follow, so you can get to know your team members a bit better. Jumping ahead, so you've then got approximately 8 weeks prep time till the 20-page report is due. And this is going to include 2 regular program sessions on teamwork and strategic planning. So the 13th of October, your report will be due. You then have 2-week period to formulate your presentation. So during that period, it'll include a session on presenting and winning. Jumping ahead to the 27th of October, so during the day, the 5 teams will go through the board style presentations, and that'll be from approximately 10:30 till about 5. And then we've been pretty lenient this year. We've given you a week break before we actually go to the gala dinner and presentation. Last year it was quite a full-on day to actually go and do your presentation and then go straight to the gala dinner. I myself felt like I'd played a grand final of footy during that day, so it was a big day. For the contacts, Merrin has copies of the brief, which will be handed out to you at the end of the session. There's some suggested readings attached, so that's in by no way accessible. It's just a bit of a guide as to where you should go and stuff that Nathaniel has actually talked to you about. Please take the opportunity to consider the challenge individually. When your team forms on the 18th of this month, you'll be able to begin the conversation with your peers. A small admin note, when your teams do form, please nominate one person as a point of contact for Merrin for contacts and questions, and those questions will come through to the project team. All those questions, if they can be emailed to Merrin. And finally, before I pass on to Steve, I'd like to take the opportunity to invite Tony Cade just to make a short comment on the project brief and his opinion on the relevance of the project brief to the future of the Hunter region.
Thank you, Rick. I've spent a lot of time preparing for this, given he asked me to do it when we were standing out the front. I think it's a unique opportunity this year that the group has. We've been spending a lot of time with the proponents, as recently as yesterday, meeting with a whole range of different stakeholders. And the good thing about this topic is everyone has an opinion. So if you go back, obviously there was some fairly strong views about the light rail, but now it's about requirements and end user requirements. And what do people like Michael Durantio need at Hunter Area Health? What does the base need? What does an integrated transport model look like? And as well as that, how do you integrate the industry disruptors? Uber's only stage 1, stage 2 is the autonomous vehicles. So it's a highly relevant project. You've got a huge, I suppose, ultimate customer base that are waiting to sit back and see what you guys are going to be working on. So from that perspective, it's a unique opportunity. You've got some great mentors, some great judges, and I'm delaying your networking, so good luck with it. And the good thing is you're going to have basically a whole community that is sitting back waiting to see what you guys come up with. How good could it get?
Thanks, Tony. Good luck, teams. I'll see you in a couple of weeks for the announcement of the teams and the mentors. If we could pass on to Chair of the Future Leaders Committee, Steve Tolley, to close.
Thanks, Rick. So thanks, Rick and team. The project team have done a great job formulating this year's project, and my view is that Newcastle is clearly already the best city in Australia. So this is an opportunity for you to showcase that we are the best city in the world. So and I mean that. So there is a real focus on this project from government, from industry, and from local. So I think this is an opportunity to showcase some really smart ideas, and really about how Newcastle can leverage off, some strong investment in the city, and develop a truly integrated transport system that has a focus, with smart technology. So we're smart people. We can have a smart city. So I think encourage you to sort of think outside the box, and focus on any idea that you think will demonstrate and showcase how we actually achieve that outcome. And good luck, everyone. I think this is going to be a pretty exciting time, and a lot of hard work, but also a lot of fun. So one of the most important things, from my perspective, is you do things for a lot of reward, but to me the most important reward is that you enjoy it and you have some fun. So please make sure that you take the time out to do that. And we're very fortunate tonight that we have some alumni. So we have some mentors, judges, and participants from last year. So apologies for the embarrassment, but obviously you can know now that I'm going to ask you to make yourself known, stand up, visible. So that's the participants, mentors, and judges from last year. Don't be shy. So there is a few. There's a couple out the back as well, hiding away there. So these are people who have been through this experience, and if you've been in alliance environments, etc., you hear about the terms, forming, storming, norming. They've been through that, and you're about to go through that. So on the 18th, and you can sit down now if you like, on the 18th, when we form the teams, you're going to be, in a situation where you've got a team. The objective is that you apply the leadership skills that you've learnt throughout the program and you brought prior to the program, and you form a team and deliver an outcome. So take the opportunity to, make yourself known, ask about the experience from the last year's participants, and use that to your advantage. And further, we're very fortunate. Henny's here representing the judges along with Ganilla tonight. We've got some extremely high-profile judges, a lot of industry expertise in the judging panel, and also in the mentors panel. So that's at your disposal to utilise as well, and sort of share from their experiences. So good luck, everyone, and I look forward to the presentations in October, and congratulating the winning team on the 4th of November. Good luck. Thank you very much.